another episode of Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I'm Ashley Lovechild, rap extraordinaire, OUV Records artist. Today I'm always joined with my co-host, the other host of the show, one of the best photographers in the world, my brother Santana.
What it do, y'all? You know what I'm saying? Top photographer of the world, baby. You already know. We here again, episode 6 of Can the Brothers Get a Podcast? Can the Brothers Get a Rap? Let's get it going. You heard?
Facts. Shout out your IG real quick.
Oh yeah, facts. Yo, we don't even be thinking about shit. Hey, you wanna link me, definitely link me at Bravo section _. That's Bravo section, one word _ Holla at me.
And make sure y'all hit my brother up in the DM, get them prices, especially if you're in that Miami, Florida area. My brother takes the best photos. You know, he will hook you up with a good package and all that. He wants to situate you.
All that. Man. Top baby.
You know what I'm saying? Again, thank you for joining us. And we always forget to say it's only our 6th episode, but yo, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, interact, do some comments and all that other stuff. So, it will be a major, love for us, you do so. So, let's get it popping, you heard? So let's start off popular opinions. All right. So we talked about Eddie Murphy. We talked about Martin Lawrence, right? But what is Wesley Snipes' top 4 movies in your opinion?
Top 4 movies. Oh man. I'm gonna say Passenger 57.
Fire.
I'm gonna say Sugar Hill.
Sugar Hill. Fire. That's underrated, bro.
Yeah, a very underrated film. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm gonna go with I just had it in my head too. Money Train.
Money Train. Okay.
And, last one, classic. Can't forget about White Boy Can't Jump. You know what I'm saying? White Man Can't Jump.
What? Yeah, I know what you meant. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nah, but I love it. Poppin'. I love auto selections. What is your favorite movie out that 4?
Out that 4? Oh, I'm gonna go with White Man Can't Jump.
White Man Can't Jump? Why?
Yeah. For real, like Wesley Snipes in that movie was actually kind of funny. Son. Like it was a very funny movie. So
Very nice.
Very jokey ass movie and shit. You know what I'm saying? And I love ball, so it's like, you know what I'm saying? A basketball movie with some jokes.
Mm-hmm.
You can't knock that. So it's a good combination and shit. And it was a good dynamic between Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a pretty good movie with them two in it.
They always got great chemistry. Always.
Yeah, facts.
Always. How many movies do you think they was in together in? Not just the starred in, but just all together, like they was in and they had to
Just the 2 I mentioned. White Man Can't Jump, Money Train. That's off the top of my head. That's the 2 I can remember with both of them in it. Sure, if you know any that they in that I didn't mention, definitely let me know. But off the top of my head, those are the 2 I know for a fact.
Those 2, I know they was in another movie. I don't want to say recently, but they was in another movie after those 2. But the movie that sticks out to me before those 2, before the Money Train and before White Man Can't Jump, is Wildcats.
Oh snap! I forgot there was a Wildcats, kid.
Wildcats popping.
The bum ass quarterback and shit. And then when coach was like, "Yeah, we gotta get the other dude in the stands and shit." And he's like, "Damn, I'm about to lose my starting spot." Yeah, nigga, you about to lose your spot, nigga. The fuck, nigga. You lost your nigga. We need a better chance to win, blood.
You lost your spot to a dude with the Jerry curls and the shorties that be betting everything in the stands. You be like, I bet you the coach smoked these boys. You know what I'm saying?
No, buddy ain't even go to school, kid. Like the nigga just be chilling, so with his trench coat and shit. Like, yo,
nah,
the numbers and shit. Right?
He went to school, but he didn't go to class.
Yeah, that nigga was in school for sure, but nowhere near class, man.
Nowhere.
Books.
Yeah. For me, again, talking about his total movie collection. For me, my favorites definitely New Jack City.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to go with Mo Better Blues.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to go with Mo Better Blues. I gotta go with Blade. I gotta be in there. And it's another movie that is in my top 4, mainly because it's the stuff that we like to talk about now when it comes to like conspiracy theory. Like we used to look at people that used to throw these wild theories and be like, yeah, they bugging. But it makes sense when you like look at the dynamics of the world. So my fourth one is Murder at 1600.
Oh yeah. That shit was a classic.
You know what I'm saying? Like how they swept it all up at the White House, and they thinking it's the son of the president. It was actually the security. He was jealous, and like it was just too lit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
I definitely forgot about that one.
mm-hmm. So that's
the fire one.
yeah, that's my top 4. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and probably my favorite out that bunch. I can't lie, even though and we talked about it off camera the other day about celebrating jail culture and criminology, but the entertainment value of New Jack City for me was just like top tier. Like I don't think nobody ever was more hated in a movie than Wesley Snipes by the end of the movie. Like it looked cool in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
he get that money, you know what I'm saying? CMB, we all we got, you know what I'm
Yeah, when
saying?
they at Spotlight and shit, you know what I'm saying?
Spotlight was popping, you know what I'm saying? Like that would be a spot like I would be at, you know what I'm saying? So
Facts.
and a lot of people that don't know, before I got into music, I was actually a real live bartender, you know what I'm saying? So, that's a spot I would have actually like I bartended at a spot like that. So
Mm-hmm. Niggas was in there every Saturday, kid.
and it was litty, you heard?
Every
So
Saturday lit.
you know what I mean? So yeah, like by the end of that movie, like what they say, I hate Nino Brown. Like everybody, I hate Nino Brown. It's like, oh, I feel you. Like, did you know this maniac used a little girl as a shield?
Yeah,
You know,
facts.
that you know what I'm saying? That was just like, and they had to show that. And I said this before. They had to show that to show how evil he was. Like
Mm-hmm.
he did that without conscience. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he like, yo, I gotta live, you know what I'm saying? So, definitely my favorite Wesley Snipes movie, out his collection, New Jack City. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. He definitely had a couple of others we didn't mention this shit, but he got a good collection of movies, son. No lies, son. No caps, son.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely had a good collection of movies and shit. He definitely put Marvel on the map before Marvel was any Marvel type of shit. You know what I'm saying? With Blade, for sure.
That's a fact. That's a fact. So yeah, I mean, y'all let us know what y'all think in the comments, which is Wesley's best Wesley Snipes movies. Whether it's he starred, featured, don't matter. Just
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, popular opinion. In your popular opinion, who do you think was the coolest TV kid on a sitcom?
Coolest TV kid.
Yeah, like a son or like the kid.
Mm-hmm.
He could be a son, nephew.
Damn, off the top of my head, I'm gonna have to go with Will Smith, son, in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Bro was lit, son. When he went into Carlton School and wore the fucking the sport coat backwards and shit, like
Yeah, yeah.
he was just too ill, son. Like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, he was a great character in that shit, son. Like dead ass, son. The nigga was just he just made that shit so ill, so I'm not even gonna lie to you. Just like standing on your own, just making a way for yourself. Like even if like you go into a new situation and you haven't like really found yourself yet. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Stay 10 toes down. You know what I'm saying? Be yourself. Eventually, people gonna come and gravitate towards you. Especially his other right hand man, Cornflake. You know what I'm saying?
Fact. Fact.
Yo, Cornflake was his like little doja, son. Like whatever
Fact.
Will said, yo, he do that shit, son. He's like,
Fact.
hey, Cornflake, make sure to remind me to talk about them boys' mothers later on. Yo, son, that
Fact.
shit was funny, son. And when the nigga was just him and Jazz went to go just play, just shoot around at the gym and shit, and and the coach was like, he was like, yo, y'all want to come join the team? And this nigga was like, yo, he don't even go to the school. He's like, yo, I'll overlook it if you will. Like, yo, coach was about to be dirty, son. Play niggas up. Like, yo, this nigga wild, son.
But coach was standing on business, you know what I'm saying?
Like, yo, we trying to win, son. We need to do whatever we can to win this game, son.
That's a fact.
So yeah, that's my favorite TV team off the top of my dome. There definitely was a lot others and shit, but Will Smith for me was like was top tier. You know what I'm saying?
Now, are you saying that because he had all the shorties on the show? Because he had a plethora of girlfriends on that show, and,
Bro,
and
like,
and not to cut you off, unlike a lot of the other TV kids, they insinuated that he was, crack.
yo, the best one for me was when he had damn, I'm not gonna remember the character's name, but you know what I'm talking about when I explain the scenario. Where the nigga pretended to he wanted to get shorty panties and shit, but she wasn't having it, you know what I'm saying, so they get married. So he finessed Jazz to create this fake wedding and shit so he could get the book, so he could get the drawings. I'm like, yo, my nigga wild, son.
And he actually went through. He actually went through with the wedding.
Yeah, he did, son. But then he had to come clean. Then he's like at the end, he's like, yo, I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? I mean, the hotel's already paid for, so you know what I'm saying? So what up?
We got the newlywed suite. Like, what's
Yeah,
poppin'?
you make it happen and shit, yo. Shorty was not with it, son.
So being that you talk about her, right? Who do you think was his best TV girlfriend on that show? The character.
I'm gonna definitely have to go with Tyra Banks.
Tyra Banks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
one of the. Of course, everyone say Nia Long's character because she had on a reoccurring role
Yeah.
for a good minute.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it was about their chemistry between him and Tyra Banks when they was on scene together. Like that shit was just ill, son.
Yeah.
Especially when she stopped fucking with Will and started fucking with that other nigga from the
Football team.
fraternity and shit. Yeah, from the
Yeah.
football shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So nigga Will trying to upstage the nigga and shit and got too wasted. They left that nigga at a fucking cemetery and shit. I'm like, oh, that's foul, son.
Yeah. Facts. Facts.
But yeah, so there was definitely to me like they had the better chemistry and shit.
Mm-hmm. I think I would definitely agree with you because she was the type that that keep them like out of like mellowed out. She held them down. She knew him from like way back. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I would agree, but I'm not gonna lie. Um, I want to say that was his best chemistry, but the most interesting relationship that he had was when Pam Grier was on there and she was on there with I believe Kimberly O'Neal. She was her mom.
Oh
And,
yeah. I remember that episode.
yeah, Will was dating her. He couldn't get nothing from Kimberly O'Neal, but the mom, played by Pam Grier, was with it. And so happily, she was like Uncle Phil's old homie, and they had like a thing too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They didn't quite made it.
Get there, yeah. Uncle Phil didn't get them draws, but
Yeah,
Will did. You know what I'm
but
saying?
low key, Uncle Phil wanted them draws
Oh
too.
no, fact. He definitely did, son.
You know what I'm saying? But he trying to, stay true to Viv. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's the first or the second one. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But there was that scene where they came to the crib and Will Smith and Uncle Phil looked at each other, was like, God damn, shorty is bad as shit, son. Yo, that shit was hilarious, son. Hilarious, son. That was a funny episode too, son. Classic.
So I always thought it was interesting when it came to that particular like dynamic. You know what I'm saying? You know, that was an ill show, man. That was an ill show. For me, it's a tough one. For me, it's a tough one on who I thought was like the coolest TV kid, but I'm gonna have to go with Steve Urkel because he had the ability to be smart, cool, inventive, and then he created a persona which was Stefan, and all the chicks wanted Stefan. Like he was Mr. Smooth after that, and he, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He could walk in a room, wipe his forehead with the towel, throw it. Chicks like, trying to catch
Try to die for that towel. You know what I'm saying?
facts. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, I'm gonna give the nod to Steve Urkel mainly because when he turned into Stefan, the swag goo was on 1,000. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. That's a good choice right there because this dude, they like, Family Matters was definitely not. I want to say downplayed, but like they don't talk about it a lot in the culture nowadays because he was doing shit that they doing now. You know what I'm saying? This nigga cloned himself. You know what I'm saying? The nigga created a fucking a jetpack. Built his own car. Like the nigga was ill, son. They just made him like that, like too dorky in a sense of like where we wouldn't like see ourselves as a Urkel. You know what I'm saying? But like the nigga had all types of attributes. He was down for his homie Eddie. You know what I'm saying? When them niggas had beef with the Dragons, who was there?
He was ready to go. Fist of fire.
Ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Like
fire.
The nigga even there was an episode, I don't remember the context of the episode, but I remember like the nigga turned himself into like almost like a Bruce Lee type character.
He did.
To make sure he, you know what I'm saying, whoop niggas ass and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
and like when he was down for you, he like I bet when it came to Laura, because that's why he did that. Because in that episode, they went to the bar, the car broke down, and they disrespected Laura. It was cool when you disrespected him, but when you disrespect the woman that he loved, oh, it's up. So
it's up from there. Yeah.
He went home, turned himself into Bruce Leroy, and came back and just whooped hella ass.
Nah, that's a fact. That's a fact. Man.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a good choice. I'm gonna definitely have to agree with that one. Urkel was a great character as far as a teenage character for sure.
And another thing too, he built a robot. He built several robots.
Oh yeah. He definitely was on his robotic shit. You know what I'm saying? Before we thought that shit would never like come into existence. You know what I'm saying? Like now we got robots like ordering our taking our food orders and shit. But back then, nigga, that shit was like comical type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's like this is no way this is gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, me personally, I'm gonna go with him because like real talk outside of Will, like when you're a teenager, you really sum up your manhood by sleeping with a lot of women. So with Will Smith, that's what it was. That was like his character was hella goofy. It was the fact that he could be cool enough to pull chicks, and they were all bad. Like these are the they was top of the top. At that time, we talking about Kimberly O'Neill. We talking about Nia Long. We talking about Vivica A. Fox. Talking about Tisha Campbell. You talk about it's several I can't even think of at the time.
Oh, Jasmine God for a second.
She was real smart, but lost her scholarship messing with Will. Lark Voorhees.
Oh yeah,
she was on there. It was this other light skinned girl that I can't remember her name, but she was in How to Be a Player. She was on the Fresh Prince of Bel Air too. I always forget her name. But yeah, she was the girl that set up Dre at the end. Remember?
Oh yeah, the curly head Joan.
Yeah.
I don't remember her actual name and shit, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
But she was hella beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like,
He
and
definitely, he definitely was casting. I know he was on sitting at the executive chair, like, nah, we need these baddies right here.
I
Like,
want her.
I want her. I
Uh huh.
definitely need her. We need her. You know what I'm saying? We need
Uh-huh.
that. Her. So he definitely was picking the right ones and shit, especially in the '90s. Yo, those shorties that were on his show were all top 10s.
Mm-hmm. And not to mention, uh, uh, Garcelle Beauvais.
Oh yeah, she was there when they the high school went co-ed and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I don't want to call her unattractive, but you know, compared to the other women at that time, probably the most like regular girl that he had, I will say that is probably Queen Latifah, but she's naturally pretty. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, she's probably the most like regular. Everybody else was
Yeah.
like,
She was definitely a 5. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. That's what I'm saying. She was regular. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But you know, but he had some baddies on that show. Like again, there's so many that we're forgetting a good like solid 5.
Yeah, that's a fact. There's a couple of more I can't remember off the top of my head. But the one that he had during prom where I can't remember her name and shit, but it was that prom episode where Carlton took that
Yeah,
took drugs and started tripping out and shit.
yeah,
I forget the chick he was with, but she was bad too. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Even
yeah.
Cornflake had himself a little honey dip. You know what I'm saying?
Now I mean, on
Cornflake had himself a little joint. You know what
the
I'm saying?
slidey,
Yeah, that's a fact.
on the slide. Like he had his piece. So yeah, like outside of that, I mean, that's what that would makes him like cool. You know what I'm saying? And I'll probably say, you know, outside of Will Smith and Steve Urkel slash Stephon Urkel, um, just honorable mention. I throw Eddie in there. You know what I'm saying? Eddie, helped,
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying
And he
he
was on move shit too. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, he was cool in his way. He had his own whip, you know what I'm saying? Getting out the mud, had a job, you know what I'm saying? Play sports, you know what I mean? So I had to and you know, not to forget Steve Urkel and his character was he came off the bench as the water boy, gave him 30 at halftime, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, you know what I mean? I forgot about that quick little tidbit, you know what I'm
Nah,
saying?
that's a fact. That's a fact.
But Eddie was cool though. Eddie was a baller. He was a student. He had chicks. You know what I'm saying? Had his whip. Had a job. You know what I'm saying? What could be more cooler than that? Got his own spot with him and
That
with
Steve.
yeah.
Yep.
So you know that's popping. You know what I'm saying? So
Nah, definitely was.
I give it up to those dudes right there. Yeah. So let me ask you this, right? Because like this is real interesting. Like, do you remember the scene in Fresh Prince of Bel Air, right, where it's the very first episode and Will Smith is playing the beat, right,
Mm-hmm.
with the fork and the glass, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what song that was to?
Table and shit. You talking about at the dinner table?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what song that was to?
No, I'm not gonna say I could know exactly what song it was and shit. Nah.
All right, so like this is just my musical ears, you know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
that was to Jodeci's "Stay."
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So next time you see that episode and you hear it and whatever, that episode, I mean, that beat is actually Jodeci's song "Stay."
This nigga over here well and shit. You got the ear for music and shit, my G.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just something I always like, you know, 'cause I'm like, yo, I know that beat, yo. And then, you know, I'll put it together. But yeah, that's a little tidbit from that. Staying on Fresh Prince of Bel Air for popular opinions. What's your favorite Fresh Prince of Bel Air episode?
Favorite Fresh Prince of Bel Air episode. Oof. It would have to probably be. It probably would be the. This is when I realized that Will Smith was like the top tier actor for me. It had to be the episode where he met his father and shit.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the most. It had funny moments, but it also had the most emotional moment for me in like TV history and shit. Like yo, that shit was just too powerful and shit for a TV show to
Yeah.
have an emotional uh level of intensity in this shit was just I ain't seen no show like do that since. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That for me like really like cemented for me like Will Smith as being a top tier actor. Like that had to be like wow, like to really perform that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was for me like a top tier moment.
So do you think it was better because it was just a great moment, or because it was unexpected?
Um, I would say it was like unexpected. I would just say more so like the just the level of everybody that played their roles um in that episode. You know what I'm saying and Uncle Phil and Vid, everybody was on point that episode. You know what I'm saying like it was just like such a top tier moment, and I feel like if people would really like go back to that episode, like they'll see that yo everybody was really on point. Like not only just Will, even though it was more centered on him and shit, but like everybody's supporting roles was on point too. Like for real, for real. So I think like when we was watching it, of course, like we wasn't expecting an episode because it was a new episode every week and shit.
Yeah.
So definitely for sure wasn't unexpected to answer your question for sure.
All right. So, because people don't realize the legend that plays his father, Ben Vereen. He's a legend. He's one out of maybe I believe 2 or 3 people that have a Tony, Oscar, and a Grammy.
You think I wanted this? Just happened. Yo. My nigga was like, yo, chill, son. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, my nigga was wild, son.
He's
But
top.
he was top tier too.
Mm-hmm. And then while Will is doing it, like pause, Uncle Phil, James Avery is such a master. Like, and when I watched their reunion show, they had a reunion show, and they said without James Avery, the show wouldn't work. And when I watch it again, they're absolutely right. So in that scene, when he was bearing his heart, his soul, in that moment to his real father character, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
His real, the man in his life. Um, in the way that he played off that he wanted to be strong, but you could tell his heart was broken for him, and
Yeah, yeah.
he foreseen this moment happening, and he didn't want this to happen. You know what I'm saying? And because it was a scene prior to that where Uncle Phil was kind of warning him, and you know what I'm saying, and Will stormed out and pushed the patio doors open. It's like, you're not my father. The hell would you think or whatever. And then when it got to that point, it's like the person that you're telling, you're not my real father. But in actuality, he is your real father based on his duties, responsibilities, the role that he's actively playing in your life.
Mm-hmm.
To bear that to him about the man that's your biological, and to see that thing when as Will going off, like
Yep.
that scene wouldn't work if James Avery didn't say anything. He was like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Being supportive, and his heart was breaking in that moment with them. So you absolutely right, bro. And it's kind of crazy that Will Smith career took off on a movie level after that, right? But James Avery continued to do theater. He continued to do shows and sitcoms, but he never enjoyed the theatrical success that his acting ability deserved.
I would have loved for him to do movies like just to see his range in acting ability. You know what I'm saying? But it didn't happen. But he always will be cemented in our culture as like one of the greatest TV dads ever. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. That's a fact. And there was another show that he played a TV dad, and this show doesn't get talked about at all. I spoke to you on camera. I was gonna save it for a show to watch, but I don't think it's a classic show only because it only had 2 seasons. So, but he played the father on a show called Sparks, Sparks and Sparks, and it starred him, a young Miguel Nunez, a young Terrence Howard. You also had Kim Coles. Kim Coles was the lady that played Sugar on Friday After Next.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Kim Coles. Yeah, Kim Coles. She she played. No, the light skinned girl that plays Sugar.
Oh, and you talking about next Friday?
Yeah, I'm bugging. Next Friday.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Uncle Elroy. So she plays the secretary, and Robin Givens is in this too. So you got Robin Givens, you got Kim Coles, you got Miguel Nunez, Terrence Howard, and you got James Avery playing the father.
Mm.
That show was absolutely funny, and that should have stayed on air, but it was a part of that the buildup of a new network that UPN network.
Yeah. I remember UPN9 and shit.
Yeah, where they built it up, and then once they built it up, it's like, yo, all right, get out of here, thank you. You know, we appreciate
facts. Yeah.
it. But he played the father on that, and that show could have been crazy. So the episodes that they had up to was funny and fire. So you're absolutely right. So I would just love to see him play in more movies and get that theatrical acclaim in the movies because he's well known in the theater aspect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So again, staying on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, who do you think is the most underrated character on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Underrated. Let me see. Damn, I don't want. I'm trying to think. Underrated. Man, that's a tough one because why I say it's tough because like every character in that show, whether they had a reoccurring role or they had like a spotlight for a little bit, definitely shine. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I would say more so underrated. I probably would say had more of a developed character or way or in the development way that they would have a better exit. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody say Aunt Viv. If that's the case, I would say the first Aunt Viv was underrated. I don't know why they swap. Well, we know why now.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was like, what the hell? A whole new Aunt Viv, and she light and bright. Like, it was,
Yeah.
like, they went crazy on that one. It was like,
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah. So shout out to whoever said that in the chat. Aunt Viv. I feel as though the first one, the first Aunt Viv was definitely underrated because I remember that episode where her homegirl from college had came back. You know what I'm saying? But she was on the run from the feds and shit. Like, and remember the chick that put all that bug in Will Smith's ear about like keep the fight and then this nigga wanted to say and all this other shit like hold on my nigga, hold up, you know what I'm saying, chill out, you know what I'm saying, this ain't 65 kid, you know what I'm saying, go to school, you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, in that episode, that's when I really like it was that episode where she really like shined for me type shit. And she did. For a fact, I'm gonna go with the one in the chat. Yeah, the first Aunt Viv was definitely underrated. So that's a fact.
Okay. Me personally, in my opinion, I'm gonna have to go with Jeffrey.
You think so?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Underrated? I don't know.
Yeah.
Son.
Yeah.
I was gonna go with Jeffrey, but every time he's like you know what I'm saying? Like he had his lines, the nigga would kill. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it was hard for me to say it was Jeffrey because that nigga had me dying. He was just a funny ass nigga. Like, yo.
see, the reason why I picked Jeffrey is because Jeffrey excelled at every part of the show where he could be the setup guy and he could be the finish guy of the joke. You know what I'm saying? So, say Viv will walk in a room and she'll say something, and he could finish it. You know what I'm saying? Or Ashley say something, then he would throw up the setup off of that, and then Will would finish it. But it's all predicated, of course, the James Avery character. But I just thought he excelled at everything, even at being vulnerable. Like when episodes where he was looking for a date, and he ended up going on a date with she was she was a top model, Naomi Campbell. Went on a date with Naomi Campbell when he was busting the Y2C on the floor or whatever.
Yeah. He's getting his little two-step on.
And Will was hating real hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then when his son came into his life, he basically dropped everything. He basically, emptied out his life savings. You know what I'm saying? And then the episode where he's the shame of England because he was running this marathon.
Yo, and he took a cab to the end of the finish line
with the big afro, like, yo, funny.
Yo, that shit was hilarious. And they had the little headband to hold the throw in place.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, funny, bro. Funny. That and then I don't think he was the top guy of the show that people like. I don't think people tuned in to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and was like, yo, I came to see Jeffrey. You know what I'm saying? Jeffrey was like, yo, this is why this show is dope. Like all great shows is dope, not because of the top person. It's always the people in between. And he's in between character that was a part of making it like real funny. You know what I'm saying? So
that's a fact.
Yeah. So that's why I go with Jeffrey on this one. Now going to the Aunt Viv situation. As a grown man, I understand the Aunt Viv situation. As a kid, I didn't get it. You know, and it is what it is. Like at the end of the day, the show continued to still be great. The new Aunt Viv was actually really good and funny. I just think that people saw the first Aunt Viv first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You see somebody first, it's like, and they're really good, and you connect with them, and that's the main thing. Once you play a character and people connect with you, and then you just switch them out and be like, yo, because then they even made a joke about it, like, yo, Aunt Viv, there's something different about you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, facts.
I think that's mainly what it is that people really connected with the first Aunt Viv. And not switching subjects and popular opinions, but it became a reoccurring theme in the 90s because in the ending towards Family Matters, the original Aunt Harriet wanted to take a break. She was telling the writers, like, yo, the show needs a break because the kids are getting older and the storylines is getting a bit repetitive. It's getting a little, repetitive. You know what I'm saying? You can tell what's about to happen. So we need to take a break to kind of shake it up, but we need to come back, but take a break. And when that money's flowing, they ain't trying to take no breaks. So, they ended up switching out to a new Harriet towards the end of Family Matters.
It's like, oh yeah, you could take a break.
Yeah. And I just thought that was quite interesting. And I believe that the lady that played the new Harriet, if I'm not mistaken, was the lady that played the mother of Gina on Martin. So,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Yeah, so that became like a reoccurring theme because you start seeing that with different shows going into the 2000s. They did that with My Wife and Kids. They had the first uh, chocolate girl that played the daughter. She was smart and sassy, and then they, switched her with the light skinned girl who was ditzy, kind of smart, book smartish, pretty type of thing. So that became a thing. And as a viewer, I hate that because I already connected, but at the same time, in the real world, when you're dealing with people and actors and shows, it gets real tricky. And sometimes you just got to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I hate to see that, happen. You know what I mean? And it probably happened on a couple other shows that we not even mentioning right now. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks.
That's always interesting. What do you think the single biggest contribution Fresh Prince of Bel Air perspective brought to the culture?
Um, it just basically showed melanated um, families as being as diverse as far as like showcasing emotion, problem solving, coming together as a family, um, making sure everybody in the family is straight. You know what I'm saying? Discipline, but also having a level of fun. Like, hey, yeah, we want you to do this, that, and the third. Focus on school, but yeah, you know what I'm saying. You can have fun. We can just enjoy life and shit. But as long as you take care of your responsibilities, you know what I'm saying. There's nothing that nobody can not tell you, and there's nothing that you can't strive for and achieve and shit. You know what I'm saying. So it definitely showcased that in many episodes. I love the episode where it was Will Smith and Carlton was taking the Benz to fucking Palm Beach. I mean, not Palm Beach, Palm Springs.
Mm-hmm.
Pulled over.
That's my favorite episode too.
And Carlton's just don't know the world yet. You know what I'm saying? So he just oblivious to shit, and it's unfortunate that that's how he had to be subjected into like the other side of shit. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
they showcased that very well and all that. And they gave them two cops you know what I'm saying, the business.
yeah.
Finally figure out what was really going on and shit. So it just showcased like, yo, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And we your father is very successful in life, but with all that success doesn't mean that you ain't gonna be challenged and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So you still gotta be aware of the world that you in and understand that the skin that you in sometimes may not open doors for you and shit like that. So you gotta be able to handle that type of rejection and still move forward. You know what I'm saying? So there was a lot of fucking messages in the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Like, as funny as it was, there was great messages from it, and just the way they displayed those messages was phenomenal. Especially a lot of the sitcoms in the '90s had those themes. You know what I'm saying? Where they had a theme and then they relayed the theme out very well, and you got a great message from them. You know what I'm saying?
My favorite episode of the Fresh Prince of Bel Air is the same exact episode you just talked about, and outside of the themes, it was just a funny episode because, like, my favorite part of the episode is when they got to jail. Biker dude kept singing like opera, like he made everything opera, sound, and it was hilarious.
Yeah, that shit was funny, son.
Outside of the messaging of that, you know what I'm saying? Just shit entertainment. I could watch that right now and literally just be dying laughing from that same episode. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? But for me, to add on to what you're saying, I the biggest thing that I took from a pause from Fresh Prince of Bel Air as a viewer is the fact that the culture experience is not monolithic. It's not one thing. We're different. You know, this could be us growing up with money and having resources and having choices. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like really different when you had Carlton, who like And mind you, all these people from Philly. You know what I'm saying? All these people from Philadelphia. So they have roots that's that has substance, and it's not all about money. But everybody is different. When you have Carlton, who took pride in rocking his polos with the cargo, you know what I'm saying, listening to Barry Manilow, busting his own moves, busting his own tunes, could sing. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't tell Carlton was confident. You couldn't tell Carlton he wasn't popping. He was, on the debate team, the prep team, the he was on like a few teams. He played on the basketball team.
Yep. Yep.
He was trash in basketball, but he still excelled in every other thing that he put his mind to. Same thing with Hillary. She's daddy's girl. She's the cultured princess in that regard because her world is different. You know what I'm saying? Her family got money. So her world is different opposed to somebody that's living in the projects, a young girl living in the projects. But what do that look like when you put money on this girl and put her in a different frame of mind, in a different space? You kind of get, her, or you get Ashley, who she's not rooted into commercial stuff and shopping, where she's just trying to find her way. But it like I said, it's just not monolithic. They made a point to show that you got four different kids in the house, and you showing their different paths in life, and what they're going to do, who they are as people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I just thought that was like an amazing way to show that. Shout out to Cameron Parsons. She was one of them ones in the '90s, bro. Oh my,
That's a fact.
she was one of them ones in the '90s, bro. But yeah. So our next segment is the must see segment. It's just crazy that we live in a world and some people still haven't seen certain movies, heard certain works of art and music. Just you got to be aware of these things, being in the culture, of the culture, and from the culture. So, three movies that you must watch. Do you have three movies up?
These three movies, I always got a theme.
Uh-huh.
These three movies are my mind bending movies. Right?
Okay.
So these three movies I gonna tell you about in a minute are movies that like literally make you think about your um, the world you live in. You know what I'm saying? Like how they tell you it's one thing, and in these movies it may not be that the way they tell you it is and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my first movie, it's an underrated film, very underrated, but it's definitely a worth watch and shit. It's called Dark City.
Mm-hmm.
98. Stars Jennifer Connelly, Rufus Sewell, Kiefer Sutherland, and William Hurt. So very, very underrated film. I highly recommend people watch that. And I have a specific order with these type of movies and stuff. So first one is Dark City.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely take a look at that. Next one, very underrated film again, is The Truman Show.
Mm-hmm.
Came out in 1998 as well. So I don't know about the 90s, the late 90s. They were just hitting niggas with
You're good. Yeah.
movies and shit. So stars Jim Carrey, Laurel Lindley, and Ed Harris. Very, very underrated film. Like
Mm-hmm.
fire. Very
Mm-hmm.
fire. And last but not least, of course, is The Matrix.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Very fire movie.
Uh-huh.
Stars Keanu Reeves, Carrie Ann Moss, and Lawrence Fishburne. So why I say to go watch it in these orders is because Dark City and Truman Show came before The Matrix. And I feel as though The Matrix got a lot of its themes from Dark City. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you see Dark City and then you watch The Matrix, you'll see why I say that, because a lot of the themes from Dark City is also bleeds into The Matrix, even though they went a little bit more deeper into those type of themes, but it definitely came from Dark City. very, very slept on that movie. It's fucking phenomenal. So those are my 3 movies: Dark City, Truman Show, and The Matrix. If you want to get your mind bended, pause. Definitely check those 3 movies out.
And not to mention, we kind of live in a Truman Show because we live in a world of reality is everything with reality TV, reality news, so, Truman Show showcase that aspect of it as well, too.
Another movie is not on my list, but I just thought about this shit now when we talking about living in a reality TV show. Is that movie Ed TV?
Yeah.
Like, I think that shit came out like in the late '90s too. That's another movie too that not on so far as a mind bending movie, but just on the fact of like how reality can be warped and shit. You know what I'm saying? So Ed TV was hilarious, but it was like showcasing reality TV before that was like big like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely. So those are the 3 movies on my list.
Yeah, those are good must sees. My 3 is I don't have no theme. I never have a theme like my brother. But my movies is Mo Money, starring Damon Wayans.
Oh, classics.
Yeah.
Ricky Dash was bad.
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah.
Oh man.
Another '90s jump. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know.
This when credit card scamming wasn't even like a thing yet. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
But they were showcasing that, and I was in the '90s, kid.
Popping movie. I I don't know which year that it came out in, but it came out, I would say, early to mid '90s. I would say '93, '94 ish. The soundtrack is fire, but you have a movie about these kids just trying to make it through to the next day, and they had the you talk about you know what's the new thing now? Fraud is, but scamming. This is when like scamming at its infancy stage, but they was really good and they could be really bad at the same.
Right. Yeah.
But it's a dope movie. It's a comedy. It's a must watch. Again, it stars Damon Wayans, Marlon Wayans, Stacey Dash, and it's just a great movie. It's dope. My second movie on my list I have is, you mentioned it earlier, Money Train, starring Snipes, Woody Harrelson, J Lo. About two uh, adopted brothers, again trying to make it through, trying to work, just trying to make money. One brother has a serious gambling problem, and the other brother is basically coming to the rescue, and they come up with this plan to do some things for some change. One brother don't want to do it at all. The other brother gets so desperate that it's like, yo, I'm doing it, B. And then it just gets, crazy from there. So
That's a fire movie because it was definitely showcasing how gritty New York City's train stations was and shit back in the day. So,
facts.
where they had to have undercover police just monitor, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, they crime on my watch.
And oddly enough, they were undercover police.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a must watch. You won't regret watching that. And my third movie is Class of '99.
Oh yeah, you definitely would put me onto that shit.
Class of '99 is probably, when you talk about the soundtrack, when you think of movies and songs and on where you was at when you first seen something, heard something, Class of '99 takes me back to literally, I don't even know why I was able to watch movies like this, but I guess because we have bigger fish to fry in the house. But this movie came out, I would say like 91, 92, and I was watching this, and I'm only like 6, 7 years old. I'll say I'm more 6, right? Yeah, yes, about 6, 7.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie is about this teenage kid, and there's nobody big in the movie outside of Pam Grier, but she plays a supporting character. She's not the main character. So Pam Grier is the biggest star in the movie, and she plays one of these teachers. So it's about 3 teachers that come to this bad, awful school, and they changing it without telling y'all the movie. They just change the school, and there's one particular kid who has the ability to galvanize the students in a way to reject how the teachers want to run the school. He's the one kid that could do that. But in the very opening scene, this 17-year-old kid is getting out of prison. He's getting out of max prison, triple max prison, and going back to high school. His little brother and his mans and them pick him up from prison. And the first thing they do, they trying to go to school. But on their way to school, I can't tell y'all the rest. Y'all just gotta go see it. It's called Class of 1999. It's a dope fire movie. And again, it stars I just said her name. It stars Pam Grier. She plays one of the teachers. A lot of the actors you're gonna know when you see them. But it's a fire movie. So my 3 movies again is Class of '99, Money Train, and Mo Money. Go see those. Uh, all right, so I got 3 works of art that y'all need to go listen to, right? Um, I'm either going to talk about the playlist, basically the artistry, a new artist that I feel like y'all should know, or an established artist that you just should know. Like there is no in between on that. Um, my well, the first one I'm gonna go with. Go listen to MOP. Listen to everything. Listen to an MOP playlist. Go on Apple Music and go to their most famous songs and just let it play. MOP, 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 Brooklyn Mashed Out Posse, MOP. Like I've heard somebody say MOP or Mobb Deep, and most people was gonna say Mobb Deep because Mobb Deep is phenomenal. They got that fire. But I could see why somebody would say MOP. I went back and listened to MOP recently, like very recently. And if somebody was to ask me that question before, I would have said Mobb Deep with no type of hesitation. Now I'm saying MOP.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Now Mobb Deep, without a doubt, has bigger records as far as their commercial records. Even their street. That's how dope MOP. I mean, Mobb Deep was their street records. Their best street records was turned into be commercial records. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not compared it to. I'm just saying that how great MOP is. So I don't want to say it like I'm knocking Mobb Deep down or whatever. But you need to go listen to MOP. MOP is fire. Like just play the playlist, and you're not going to be disappointed. Were you big on MOP?
Just a few songs that I've heard from them. I never went back and listened to them, but I'll definitely do that for sure now. I know they got some other shits that's on the low too that I should definitely take heed and listen to again.
Mm-hmm.
It was I heard on a podcast. I think on Drake Champs or some shit how they was giving MOP their flowers and shit too as well. So even though the industry doesn't give them their flowers, they got just a plethora of music that I'm gonna definitely go back and listen to again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. My second going to the R&B side, also from the 2000s. Go back and listen to Carl Thomas.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
And I would say one particular album, but I'm gonna shortchange him if I do that. Just play the playlist. His best of. Go to Apple Music and play his best of, and he has 20 out the park songs.
Yeah, Carl Thomas was a fucking that nigga was early 2000s. Yeah, Carl Thomas definitely set the mood right for niggas. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? And he has so many songs, not just for himself, but he was on a lot of features. Like still to this day, Been Around the World remix with him
Oh,
and
fire.
Mace. Oh my God. Like, and then I love the video. The video to me was popping. Like, but it was just them three, they dancing. You know, they got the camera all like in funny angles, but it was just like a popping video. They was rocking the all black and they was rocking the all white.
Mm-hmm.
Fire.
This the era for the audience, you know what I'm saying? This the era where rappers rapped and R&B singers sang, you know what I'm saying? It was like a great combination, like, and so many artists used that combination and had so many big hits off that shit, like, you know what I'm saying? It was just such a great way to do this shit, and it's forever gonna be cemented in our culture as far as a great mixed match of genres together and shit. R&B and rap, they are fire, son. That song or remix with Carl Thomas was ridiculous, son. Like ridiculously fire.
And I think Carl Thomas was one of those underrated R&B dudes back from them 2000s because he had hits and he sung on a lot of joints too. Like even the joint with him and Faith Evans, that was a jam. You know, that used to be joint. Jam. So that's another artist I need to go listen to. And my third artist, again, another established artist, but you know, it's still a must see, is the group Next.
Oh, bro, Max, that shit used to get the fucking house party pumping, nigga. Yo, son, dead ass. Next, you used to have the house parties litty titty, kid. No
I
lie.
I remember they had the song Real Close, and that was just my song. And then when it came on in the eighth grade prom, nigga, remember them school dances, boy?
Mm-hmm.
And like I lost it. I grabbed my girl at the time and we got our boogie on. Like the whole eighth grade class was in there and we was going crazy when that joint Real Close. Um
Yep. That shit was like one of the best songs, because that definitely was around like my seventh grade going into eighth grade year, and this is like, you know what I'm saying, like you like part of the popular class, popular kids and shit, so you getting invited to the house parties and shit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember that song came on. I grabbed this little joint I was trying to holler at, broke that motherfucking wall, kid, or that song. Never got invited back to the crib again, son.
And then mind you, it had the ill intro that let you know you had like a couple seconds.
Yeah, the grab your bitch real
Yeah.
quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, oh shit, where's she at? Oh, there she go. Let me go get her. You knew what that song was gonna be, son.
Crazy.
Nah,
Crazy.
yeah.
That was my joint. Like you talking about getting our boogie on. We was on that damn cruise and like my prom in eighth grade, they put us on the cruise. You know,
Okay.
the Chelsea Piers joint, like, you know what I'm saying? They took us around New York City, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we was just in the auditorium and shit. They
Yeah.
on the cruise and shit. You know
Oh,
what
man, but
I'm saying?
that hoodie though, you know what I'm saying? Like,
That's
we,
ill, son. That's ill.
you know what I'm saying? So I remember that, but when that song came on, it just crystallized that whole night, bro. Cause I had me a ball that night, and that song came on, do 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 do, and it was just like, yo, you gotta grab you a shorty. What Method Man say? I got myself a shorty. I got myself a 40, and I'm about to go and kick it. Like, yo, that's how I was feeling. So make sure y'all go listen to the playlist of Next. Um, yeah, Next, Carl Thomas, and the playlist of MOP. Those are artists that are obviously they're legends, but there's a reason why. So if you never heard of them before, which is crazy as that sound, there's a lot of people that have never heard certain artists. Go to them again. MOP, Carl Thomas, and Next. Go listen to their playlist.
Fire list.
Now, do you have a classic show?
Oh, most definitely. And I was just talking about this show earlier today at work. So I was like, "Dad, let me put this shit on my list." Classic show. Y'all definitely gotta go check out the Chappelle Show.
Ooh.
Gotta go see the Chappelle Show.
You cheating, bro. You cheating, bro. Ooh.
This is by far the best skit comedy show like ever.
Yeah, hands down.
Hands down. I don't care if y'all new age cats, not to knock y'all, if y'all was some Keel and Peel shit, ass compared to the Chappelle Show. First of all, the very first episode of the first season, the skit that the dude came up with, it's about a KKK member, right?
Mm.
Blind.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the kicker. He's black.
Yeah.
And he don't even know he black.
Yeah.
How the fuck come up with some shit like that? Son?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all gotta go see Chappelle Show. If you wanna laugh, I swear to God, like, yo, every time an episode, see, y'all new age cats don't know about you have to wait every week for a show to come on. Y'all just get the whole series
right
on
and
break. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Y'all don't even get the time to like enjoy that episode throughout the week and then wait till next week for the next episode. So when every episode came out, boy, when I say niggas going to school the next day and would verbatim say lines off that the episode, still to this day, is so many classic scenes and skits from that show that still hold weight today. From Ashy Larry, from Clayton Bigsby to Leonard Washington, like the racial draft.
Oh, that was what was the name of the drug dude when he was in court and he didn't have no worries. Like he was on the phone and it was like, we're gonna suspend your sentence. You could come back at this time or whatever.
Damn. Was it Tron?
Tron.
Yeah.
No, was it Tron?
I don't think it was Tron. Damn, no, I don't think it was Tron. I forget his name, but y'all gotta go see that shit. It's like the first two seasons, immaculate.
Yeah.
Just immaculate. The third season, because that's when Chappelle started having a change of heart, and when he was taping the third season, which is funny enough because in the second season he made a skit about how they was trying to like oust the nigga, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But when he had a change of heart, like they done taped enough shows to put out the third season without him and shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's when the media fucking turned against him and saying the nigga was doing crack and all this other shit. But he definitely had a change of heart and didn't want to do the show no more and shit like that. But the first two seasons, stupid funny. Like the funniest shit ever. Like after that, I don't think niggas was rocking with Comedy Central, the network where that hosted Chappelle Show. Because before that, I'm not gonna lie to you, kid, I was not jacking.
Yeah, never watched that.
Comedy Central. There was nothing on Comedy Central for me to watch until the Chappelle Show came on, and niggas was on par every Tuesday night. I think it was on at 8:30 or some shit every Tuesday. When some new episode of Chappelle Show came on, bro, niggas was on it. One of the funniest ones for me was from the first season was the Mad Real World Show.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Son, when I say Buddy made a whole parody of the Real World, so you know how the Real World had MTV had their reality show Real World, and then they had the other one when they was on the road and shit. I forget.
Road Rules.
Road Rules, yeah.
Popping.
So Chappelle made a parody of that shit called the Mad Real World Show, like R.I.P. to Charlie Murphy. But that nigga on that show, had to be the funniest jail nigga I ever seen in my life, son.
Trying to make love over here, B.
Hey, yo, get your fat ass up out of here. We got company. We need this bad and shit, right? So the nigga's like, he's like, all right, come on, Katie, let's go. And bitch was like, the nigga was like, nah, Katie, you can stay. And she's like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna stay. He's like, yo, what the fuck you still do here? Get the fuck out of here before we cut some bacon off your back. Yo, not to give away. I'm not even giving away too much, but yo, it was just so many episodes on that shit. Bill Burr, who's like top comedian now, was on that show. Fucking hilarious. When he was hosting the World Dice Game and this shit got robbed by the nigga. Yo, oh my God. So y'all gotta go see that shit. So the Chappelle Show came out 2003. It got 3 seasons. If y'all want to laugh, uncontrollably laugh with tears coming out your eyes, the Chappelle Show. And it still holds weight to this day, and it's 20-something years later. You know what I'm saying? So definitely check that shit out. If you haven't already, you're doing yourself a disservice, and you gotta look at yourself in the mirror and be like, yo, why not see this show? You know what I'm saying? You heard it from here. Definitely check out the Chappelle Show.
And it's funny because when the Chappelle Show was out, I didn't watch it.
Nah?
Because I remember y'all telling me about it for so long. I didn't really watch the Chappelle Show until it was like years off when reports that he went to Africa and dipped. Then I sat down and watched the Chappelle Show and was like, yo, what, like,
they had the DVDs of this shit.
Yeah. You know, I was a DVD boy. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they had it on DVD, I was gonna go see it.
Gonna go buy that shit.
Yeah. So I didn't care enough to invest my time into Comedy Central, like whenever it came on. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know what I mean. So, but my favorite episodes of the Chappelle, the episodes that come off the top of my head that makes me laugh is the Real World scene, and it's the obviously all the Charlie Murphy stuff, you know, with Prince and Rick James, and then I love the one where it was like the sports that we didn't dominate yet, and it was like a mixtape, like because
they like, doing bowling and shit, doing the bowling ball pause,
yeah.
Funny because it's wild how the universe works, because he did one of them shits for tennis, right? But then we got tennis now doing the shit that he was doing in the Chappelle Show 20 years ago, son. So he definitely paved the way to, like, and the dude that's playing tennis now, I forget his name, Melanated. He's fucking lit. He's making tennis seem popping. And he's definitely carrying on the mental that the Williams sisters had for a long time and shit. But he's on the male side of it, and he's just dominating on the male side. And he's doing this shit as melanated cats do, with fucking swagoo sauce. You know what I'm
saying? And mad flair. Yeah. And then on top of it, I think he's the first prototype. Meaning like he's doing this now, right? But there's another younger, because I did my research and I forgot his name, but he's like 36, 37.
Damn.
Yeah. And we just finding out about him. He been doing this, right? So he's the first prototype. So there's a kid at home right now that's probably like 10, 11 years old, watching him play, melanated, going to grow into his athletic ability and doing all the stuff that he's doing athletically at ease. You know what I'm saying? And just be killing the game. You know what I'm saying? Dominating how it's supposed to be dominated. You know what I'm saying? So I forget his name, but I think he's from like France, or he's French. I'll say he's French. I think he's French. And it's funny how Dave Chappelle, you know, foreseen, you know, because like you said, he did bowling, baseball, and tennis. And with baseball was hilarious because he hit the home run and he's dancing, and then they trying to throw the ball back to plate or whatever. He jukes the dude, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's one of the episodes that come to my head. And then another thing that jumps to my mind as far as the Dave Chappelle show is the parodies of like R. Kelly, because he did.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna pee on you.
Yeah. And then and not telling y'all because it's a whole lot of skits. And then there's the Tupac, when Tupac is in the club or whatever, and they playing a Tupac song, and then everything he's talking about is current, but he's dead. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So those Dave Chappelle, I agree with you. Classic, must see show. I agree with that wholeheartedly as well. My classic must see show is sitcom. But and just to finish off Dave Chappelle real quick, pause. Um, you're absolutely right. I think A Living Color was the first prototype. Then Dave Chappelle was the final prototype.
Yeah.
And Key and Peele wasn't the prototype. They was just really good, and it resonated because it was safe. You know what I'm saying? Like Dave Chappelle is like the equivalent to Martin, and Key and Peele show is like the equivalent to the Jamie Foxx show. If that,
Yeah, on the safe side, like I'm
yeah,
not watched a lot of a lot of the episodes on their show, but a few that I've seen were like, you know what I'm saying, they were funny, they were cool,
mm-hmm.
but like after being around when the Chappelle show came out, it's like, bro, ain't nothing like that since.
Yeah.
There ain't gonna be nothing like that to top Chappelle show, and the amount of creativity the dude had for every episode throughout the seasons that he had was just
Well, I mean, I don't think it's going to be like that because it's not talented people. It's that they not given those type of platforms is not available. So we're creating our own way.
right,
And what he
right.
did, the way he did it, I agree. It won't be duplicated, but I think we'll get another version that's going to get popular. I'll say probably within 3-4 years if they give guys on YouTube, because we watch a lot of guys on YouTube and their skits and their stuff. If they gave some of these guys a chance, then there's a potential for that. But yeah, so my classic show that is a must watch, a must see, is Hanging with Mr. Cooper. The Cooper, especially the first season. I'm always biased to the first season because even though when the Hanging with Mr. Cooper came out, and we wasn't even teenagers, we were little kids. I preferred the grown format because the first season they had the same cast, but they had Dawn Lewis. Dawn Lewis played Jaleesa on A Different World, and that grown format related to grown things. You got 3 roommates, 2 beautiful women. You a dude that used to play in the NBA. So you trying to pay bills. You're trying to go to the club. You know what I'm saying? It's just grown stuff going on.
Right.
But they kind of switched the format to make it more kid friendly when they focus more on the high school students, like Cuba Gooding Jr. Brother Omar Gooding. He played one of the students. They brought on Raven Simone as his niece. They brought on her mother, the lady that plays her mother. So they made it real kid friendly. When I prefer,
They watered it down for sure.
yeah, because then with that adult version, it was more. It was, to me, it was funnier. It was more adult telling type of jokes. Even though we're not adults, but I prefer that. And you had sexy women on the show just doing sexy stuff, like, you know what I'm saying. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then they probably have the most fire intro in sitcom history. Like, he had Dawn Lewis, Holly Robinson, Pete, who are singers, also joined with En Vogue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
Was popping. So definitely my throwback show or my classic show is hanging with Mr. Cooper. He plays a ex NBA basketball player who lives with his two roommates. They got a big house or whatever. He used to own the house, but he needed them to move in to help him pay the bills. He becomes a high school teacher of sort, where he's like a replacement teacher, a substitute teacher, and ultimately becomes like a coach and things like that. And it's just a funny show. Even when they watered it down, it was still funny, but I preferred the first format. But it's still a must see show. So,
Facts. Nah, that's a fire ass pick right there for sure. So back to that one.
You got Cologne.
Cologne of the week is probably gonna say the name wrong, but it's a fire ass scent. Givenchy. Is it Givenchy or is it Givenchy? Shout out to Fabulous for that bar. But Givenchy, gentlemen, definitely the design of the bottle is definitely fire. Fragrance and the smell of this particular cologne definitely is a worth the grab. You know what I'm saying? Definitely get you a bottle of Givenchy, gentlemen. You won't be disappointed. And you know what I'm saying? We like smelling good, looking good, feeling good. So definitely get you a bottle of Givenchy, gentlemen.
Time to rap. Time to rap. What do you think of the Las Vegas Raiders? They're the only NFL team right now, currently. They have an interim cultured head coach. And for those who don't know, I substitute the word black for culture because we're not three-fourths as a people and we're not three-fourths as a person. So I substitute the word black for culture, ebony, melanated. So the Las Vegas Raiders are the only team in the NFL right now that have a cultured head coach, president of the team, and general manager. But they're all interim. What do you think of that?
You know, they're on the chopping block. You feel me? So
Mm-hmm.
that's cool. But at the end of the day, it's just a, again, it's like the crumbs that they give us and expect us to be happy and act like we well fed with crumbs. You know
Mm-hmm.
like the fucking NFL been around for damn near 75 years. We don't got not one black owner. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We got all these old, crusty, dusty ass white dudes running the shit, but then you want to lift a few people up and be like, well, you see, we got some people in and we're letting them in, but it's like it's an asterisk next to it. Yeah, you're a head coach, but you interim. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Andrew, but you interim. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, but then you got other niggas that be fucking up their franchise for years, and they still get chance after chance. But then when it comes to us, it's like, yo, you get one opportunity only. And then if you fuck up, then anybody that looks like you don't get another chance again and shit. So it's like, I get it as far as like moving the needle forward in a sense, but in a in the other sense, it's like a slap in the face. It's like, yo, the league is damn near 95% black anyway.
Mm-hmm.
The only shit y'all holding on to somewhat is now the ownership aspect of it. Because we've been had head coaches. We've had head coaches that won Super Bowls already. You know what I'm saying? It's cool that we got a general manager. I don't know if we've had black general manager and
Yeah,
other.
we've had a few.
Um,
The
but
the
yeah,
old,
so it's
old,
like,
old Giants general manager, I believe his name is Reese, Jerry Reese, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I know he was coaching.
but again, it's like they let us in the cracks of the door, but they're not opening up the door. It's like
Mm-hmm.
I'm cool with I'm cool with the fucking little crumbs. I'm cool off that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's time to just nigga buy a team. You know what I'm saying? Like buy that shit. But again, it's
Mm-hmm.
hard to say that when they don't. You could say we have people that because we have culture people that got money to buy a
Yeah,
whole fucking franchise. You know
I
what I'm
was
saying?
about to say that. Mm-hmm.
But are they gonna sell to us? That's the thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And even if they do sell to us, are they gonna be fair about it to make it where, like, you know what I'm saying, like, they're not gonna give us a team that they gotta rebuild and start from scratch, and it's gonna take a couple of years for that specific franchise to be competitive. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a double-edged sword. I'm proud of niggas getting to that level and making a name for themselves and shit. That's what's up, and that's what we do. But at the same time, it's like it's about to be 2024, and it's like, yo, shouldn't be no reason why we not at the dinner table asking for seconds. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you one thing. When it comes to the coaching game, we're definitely not sitting at the table on a fair plane. Like, yeah, we got a couple in there, but you mean to tell me, like, these coaches that goes to these teams and have all these losing seasons, they're more equipped to come to your team and run your team, but they've been at two different franchises and lost every single time. When you don't want to give this one guy a chance or whatever. So I think for the coaching aspect of it, we definitely need a seat at the table, mainly because we're qualified, not because we want to fill these quotas. We're qualified for it. Period. Just like how growing up, you didn't see many coached quarterbacks in the league. Now the lead is almost every team got a coaching quarterback. It's kind of weird to see a dude that's not coaching playing quarterback now. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, he's elite. So it's very interesting. It's a different dynamic when it comes to the quarterback. So the coaching position, not just head coaching, but assistant coaching jobs, that's also very slight. So we need to see that at the table at that. When it comes to ownership, like you hit it right on the head. Like there's plenty of people out here with money. You have to fit a certain criteria for them to want to sell you a team or you buying a team that it should make sense. Even let's say you started your own team and say, yo, we going let's say we're gonna have uh, a team in Portland because there's no NFL team in Portland. Like, yo, we got our own bread. We 5 billion up, so we want to buy this team and we want to put it right in Portland. You have to fit a certain criteria just for the NFL to even do that. So, and if you don't fit that criteria, they're not going to do it. So we definitely need to see at the table of ownership because ownership is different from coaching. Coaching, you can't help if you inherit a bad team. So whoever's on contract is on contract. When you're an owner, it doesn't matter who you inherit because you have the power to take contracts away, void contracts, get rid of people, bring this person in, bring that person in. So the NFL, to be an NFL owner, you have to have very deep pockets. And you could call your own shots if that money is talking, but they gotta want you to get in there.
Right.
Know what I'm saying? It's not like college where, like for instance, you talk about Texas A&M, where they fired Jimbo Fisher, and I've never heard this before, but when they fired this man, they still owe him $77 million, and they have to give him $20 million within the first 60 days. I've never heard that. So people that listen to in the chat, listen to that. For example, he gets fired and the school still owe him $77 million, and they have to give him $20 million in 60 days. I've never heard that happen for somebody that's a cultured coach and that's a failed coach at that.
Right.
I've never heard that happen. So from here till 2031, so they're going to give him the first 20 million in 60 days. So they're going to divvy 57 million from 2024 to 2031. I've never heard of that deal. So I'm pretty sure if these colleges have the money to do that, there's owners with them deep pockets as well. And because we have people that have that type of money, we need to see that table as well. And shout out to the show, The Game. The game show, the comedy, drama, whatever they take on different, aspects of that show. But in the last season, and they brought it back. In the last season, they showcased, you know, uh, having a owner, a cultured owner at the table. So I could appreciate that in the entertainment world and the acting world, but we need to see that in real life because that's the only time we really going to see that real place at the table. Like it's cool that they have the Raiders got that going, but it's going to be real impactful when they remove that interim tag because ever since they implemented the screw, don't you know the Raiders been winning?
Think about it.
The Raiders was awful. Now they fighting for a playoff spot. They won their last 3 games in a row. So there's something to that formula that they got going on. So if you're qualified, then you're in. But if you're not, it is what it is. But we need a place at the table. We earned it. We deserve it. We have coaches who are melanated, like you said, that won Super Bowls, and there's other coaches who have that same ability to do that. And then not to mention the Houston Texans. You know how raggedy the Houston Texans have been? They've been raggedy, god awful. Guess what? They got a melanated head coach, a former player in his first year, has a rookie quarterback, and Houston is killing.
Yep, that's a fact.
Houston is dogging. They beat the Bengals the week before last. They beat the brakes off of somebody today. They beat the Cardinals today. And like, yo, the formula is easy. Don't make this harder than what it has to be. So I think it's dope, but also kind of like, because it's still interim. It's still like we'll see how you do, and if you do good, then maybe. But like remove that interim, and then we could really be in business. You know what I'm saying? So that's quite interesting. What do you think of Mikey Williams losing his lucrative NIL Puma deal due to his case and facing 30 years in jail?
You know how they always do. They're gonna crucify us at any point in time, even though it's the law states that you're innocent until proven guilty.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't give a fuck about that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's really they don't want their product or you know what I'm saying their their business being associated with a quote unquote criminal and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like any other situation that happens with us melanated people. Like a motherfucker can insinuate that you are something and people will just believe it without no evidence, without you going to trial. None of that shit. It's just, oh, you're just guilty. But it's the law states that you innocent until proven guilty. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Comes to us, that shit don't apply to us. You know what I'm saying? That shit do not apply to us at all. So they always got different rules when it comes to us and shit. So that's that wishy washy shit. I don't really fuck with it like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad for this young man to go through that situation he's going through right now. He's what 18 and shit, and he's had his whole life set before him, and now he has to go through this case and hopefully get vindicated of whatever charges he got and shit. But it just sucks that you know what I'm saying he was just so close to getting to a different tax bracket and having all that shit pulled away from you. So that's why it's like life for us as cultured men, like we can't make mistakes like that. You know what I'm saying? We don't get chances, too many chances to do better and shit. Like so half the time we barely even get a chance. You know what I'm saying? So it's just tough, man. And it's like it's always the never-ending story with us and shit. Like as a culture of people, it's like they'll again, like I was saying before, they'll give you a little bit of crumbs, and then something happens, then they want to take the crumbs away and shit. It's like it's just ass. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Well, I agree. I mean, he already got the money. So he was able to do things, and his next step was to go to the University of Memphis, where Penny Hardaway coaches. Penny Hardaway has been known to grab like the top, high schoolers in the country, and he knows how to like one and done you. You know what I mean? And he knows what the next step that they should be taking. So it's a sad thing, but again, at the end of the day, he's learning a lesson early, and like that, all of us had to learn is that we're going to be held accountable to a different standard, and I hope at some point, um, when he gets out, or or some way possibly he can beat this, that he fully understand that, and he has to take different measures on receiving and gaining respect without taking penitentiary chances. So,
Yeah,
uh,
fact.
uh, I pray for his family. I pray for him because he's going to learn a hard lesson, and it's unfortunate because he has so much promise at the end of the day. So, yeah. Well, again, that's a wrap. To Brothers Get a Rap, another great dope show. Again, tune in with us every Sunday and every Thursday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We had some people on the West Coast that were like, yo, I checked, I tapped in, I was watching, but I came in late. I was like, so now we're making a point to let y'all know that it's 10:30 Eastern Time. Make sure y'all mash that like button, subscribe, leave comments. We appreciate your support. We love. Shout out to some of the what you have anything you want to say before I get to
Definitely
the
shout out to people in the chat that been with us throughout this whole episode. I rock with y'all. Appreciate y'all for tuning in from beginning to end.
facts?
We do this for y'all and shit. You know what I'm saying? Keep bringing you this different take on life and shit like that. So definitely tune in again, like my brother said, every Sunday and Thursday at 10:30. Oh, again, smash them likes. You know what I'm saying? Comment, subscribe, and fuck with your boys. You heard?
Mm-hmm. And again, shout out to our sponsors of the show, OUV Records. You see it up there. You see the hat popping. Bravo section. Make sure y'all hit my brother up on Instagram, especially in the Miami, Florida area. He'll get you a nice package deal with photography. He's one of the best photographers in the world. Another sponsor of the show, Button Snaps Streaming. Make sure y'all go to button/snaps.com, and you get to see movies for us, by us, starring by us. It's a streaming platform that again that has movie shows, just all kind of content that shows our excellence. So shout out to Button Snaps. Uh,
Sir.
and be on the lookout for my new album, the Ash album, December 12th. Um, I'm coming to a city near you. I've been on tour. I've been on the Bridging the Music tour. I've been on my God, the Impact tour. So make sure y'all stay tuned with me. I'm at Ashley Lovechild on Instagram and everything else. So make sure y'all tune in, tap in, and stay current. So
Yes, sir.
all love. You heard?
Yes,
So
sir.
we'll see y'all on Thursday.
Yep.
One.